You have said many times, Mr. President, that big countries do not bluff. I completely agree. It should not be a bluff, but the real thing. The Iranian regime must know that if they continue to deceive the world, they will pay a heavy price.
With regard to Iran and convincing the Saudis and others that we mean what we say, is we mean what we say. They have an opportunity to accept this agreement's been laid down. If they don't, we made it absolutely clear. We will not, let me say it again, we will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
That was President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid in Israel today after the leaders signed a joint pledge to denuclearize Iran and to confront Tehran's aggression toward Israel. And for the first time, President Biden vocalized his support for the Abraham Accords, the Trump administration-era deal which normalized relations between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. Are the Saudis next to join that crowd? Could that be possible? Joining me now on a Fox Business exclusive, the former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon. Ambassador, great to have you. First, the Iran nuclear deal, a centerpiece of Biden's visit to Israel. I know he sounded very, very firm about that. He and Prime Minister Lapid signing that pledge, but at the same time, President Biden also said Israel will be safer with a renewed Iran nuclear accord. Does Israel agree with that?
Thank you for having me, Liz. We welcome the president's visit, but actually we do not agree with his approach. Basically, the declaration sounds very nice, but when you look at the actual actions, we are worried about it because President Biden and his team, Secretary Blinken, Mr. Sullivan, they are moving forward with the Iran deal. They want to sign the deal in Vienna as soon as possible. And that's bad news for us here in Israel and for our partners in the region. And basically what we are telling the president in a polite manner, you know, we welcome your declarations, but if you are signing that deal, basically you're allowing Iran to become nuclear. And not only that, you're actually giving them the support for that because they will have so much money to support the proxies in the region. So we expect more from our allies. And I think that Prime Minister Lapid should have been stronger when he addressed the issue of Iran and our expectation from the U.S.
Well, I think President Biden was extraordinarily strong with one point that he made. He was asked by an Israeli journalist if he would use force against Iran if necessary to stop it from obtaining a nuclear weapon. And he answered, quote, "If that is the last resort, yes." You don't often hear any leader say something like that.
Yeah, but you have to put it in the right perspective. As we speak, the U.S. is actually telling the Iranians, let's sign the deal. We don't need to argue about the details. Just let's sign the deals. And the Iranians are taking advantage of it. And that's business, Liz. You know business more than anyone here, better than me for sure. And they are now actually getting more from the U.S. Before they sign the agreement. So who knows when it will actually be the time that we will have to act militarily. What will be the position of the U.S.? It will not be President Biden in the White House when the time will come, but we intend to stay here. That's why what we are doing now, we are investing more in our defense budget, and we are getting ready for the possibility that it will be only us that will have to deal with the threat of a nuclear Iran.
Well, I know that he toured the Iron Dome. He also, as you just saw on the screen, went to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial, and he made some important comments saying every time you have a chance to return to this great country where the ancient roots of the Jewish people date back to biblical times is a blessing. That has to be important on the international stage to see the U.S. president saying that. I do want to transition to the Abraham Accords. Give us your sense, because you were there during the initial start of the Abraham Accords. And this is so, people need to understand, for people our age and older, to have watched the bitterness, the hostility over, well, hundreds and hundreds of years, to see countries like Bahrain and the UAE and Morocco and Sudan say, we're in, let's start allowing flights and business relationships. You have been now to Bahrain and UAE. What have you seen on the ground, and will Saudi Arabia join the Abraham Accords?
First, we have to be grateful for the previous administration for the great work and support we received before we signed the agreement. And today you see, the business atmosphere, tourism. We have 14 flights a week flying from Tel Aviv to Dubai. And I hosted a very important delegation of business people coming from the UAE here in Tel Aviv. So we are very optimistic about that. And today what we saw, I think for the first time, we saw that the Biden administration is actually using the term Abraham Accords and speaking about expanding the agreement, which I think is very important. And tomorrow, when President Biden will fly to Saudi Arabia, we hope that he will continue to support the spirit of the Accords. And hopefully, the Saudis will join. I don't think it will happen tomorrow, but I think tomorrow we're going to hear some news about small steps of normalization, basically allowing Israeli flights to fly over Saudi Arabia when we fly to the Far East. And that will be a good start for us.
And Muslims in the Israeli region allowed to fly directly to Jeddah for the Hajj. I'll tell you, this is so exciting, the thought that Saudis and Israelis could actually have a warmer relationship. We'll be watching it. Danny, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Liz.
Danny Danon.